Well, it's a very warm welcome along to the latest talking point. It's myself, James Mason, and next to me, Tom McGarry, that are looking at some big news that's come out of St James's Park because Rafael Benitez will not be continuing as Newcastle manager. He will be leaving when his contract expires at the end of June there. Massive news then for Newcastle, for the supporters. Benitez, who they wanted to stay, he is now leaving. It's got to be negative and poor news for the Magpies.
Yeah, it's a really disastrous thing to happen for them. So close to the start of pre-season, they want their preparations to be looking forward to potential transfers coming in, new recruits, but now they've got to go back to square one, if you like. Rafa Benitez has had really good success with Newcastle. Yes, they were relegated in his first season in charge, but he got them straight back up and established them as a top-flight club once again. He's got that great rapport with the club supporters. It's really been the world's worst kept secret, if you like. I think a lot of people have been expecting this to come about. Contract talks have stalled over recent weeks. Talk of potential takeover, that's also stalled slightly. So I don't think it's a surprise, but it could have real big repercussions for Newcastle going into next season. They may be now looking over their shoulder, and whoever they go on to appoint, it's going to have to be a really shrewd appointment, and it's going to be a big job for whoever comes in.
Yeah, you mentioned who are they going to appoint next then. There's already been a few names linked with it. You've got Burnley, Sean Dyche is in there. You've got a few of the regular names that get linked in. Who would you feel that is best potentially to come in and take the hot seat?
Well, someone like Sean Dyche could be a shrewd appointment. He's got great Premier League experience. He knows how to keep a club in the top flight, and he also works well under quite a restricted budget like he's had at Burnley. So he could be someone that appeals to owner Mike Ashley, particularly if he stays as owner of the club. There's one or two more exotic names, if you like, as well. Jose Mourinho's been mentioned as a potential candidate. I don't know how he'll fit into Newcastle's philosophy, whether he'll be accepted at St James's Park, but he'll certainly have that kind of big name reputation and pull factor that Rafa Benitez also had. So yeah, Mourinho could be an option, but realistically for me, he could only come in if Newcastle do get a new owner and someone who's going to invest.
Yeah, well, that leads on to the next point of the new owner. There's a lot of negativity probably around with Benitez going, but if you can pick out a positive, the new potential owners, there was a lot of reports they didn't want Benitez as the manager, so they were already looking at someone else. Is this good news potentially for Newcastle? The fact that Benitez is not going to stay, does that mean the takeovers may be progressing?
Yeah, quite possibly, and it could give them a clean slate going into next season. We still don't know. It may work out as a blessing in disguise. They could get someone else in, play attacking, attractive football, and be looking to push on and finish in the top 10, the top 8 of the Premier League next term. It feels almost like a sink or swim moment for Newcastle. It could go one way or the other. The worry you would have as Newcastle supporters is that you've had stability with Rafa Benitez over the last couple of years, and now that's been taken away, and it could turn into a real dogfight to survive next term. It's difficult to tell at this early stage, but I would be worried if I was a Newcastle supporter.
Yeah, and just finally, we talked about who could come in at Newcastle. Where does Rafa go from here? Where does Benitez go? Reports of Chelsea maybe, but Frank Lampard's meant to be going in there. Will he go over to China?
Yeah, China's been the one that's been mooted, hasn't it, over the last couple of weeks. A big multi-million-pound deal is believed to be on the table. Benitez has previously stated his desire to stay in Europe, particularly the Premier League. I wouldn't rule out Chelsea altogether if they go for someone with a bit more experience. He knows the club as well. He had an interim spell in charge a few years ago, so I wouldn't completely rule that one out. It may be a case that Benitez bides his time for a couple of months, waits for another job to materialise, but I think the two options are really either he goes to China over the next couple of weeks or he remains in the Premier League.
Well, there you have it. Rafa is gone. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this then. You can go on social media and comment then, Twitter and Facebook. And also, don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel.